Welcome to the CyberSangha podcast. CyberSangha is a program of free live broadcasts, launched in 2009 by renowned teacher and author Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche. Join us as we draw on ancient Tibetan wisdom to discover how to connect with our best self and live to our highest potential. The following teaching, Silence is a door to your inner refuge, entering the Sambhogakaya, was given by Rinpoche on November 17th, 2021, as part of a year-long series, A Year of Body, Speech, and Mind. This content is for informational purposes only. Listeners should consult medical professionals for any physical or mental health concerns. Please use headphones and do not meditate while driving or operating machinery.
Good morning, greetings to everybody. Welcome to my Facebook Live, our CyberSangha community. So today's topic is silence as a door to your inner refuge. As I'm speaking, let's not forget, between every words, every breath, every thought, there is opportunity to experience a deep silence. As this moment. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can be aware of it. You can enjoy it. And it's very nourishing when you hear the inner silence. You can feel deep sense of peace when you hear and when you feel the inner silence. And it's also very healing when you connect, when you allow the dynamic energy, the flow of energy, your own inner voice, your own inner melody, your inner strength, when you allow to flow spontaneously in that deep silence, it's very expanding, enriching. When we truly feel the connection to that inner silence, it is also very joyful. So the silence is not just the absence of noise. When some people think the silence is only absence of noise, that means they are more focused on a noise than the silence. Silence, it's not only absence of noises. Rather, it is a presence of silence, the presence of light, the presence of awareness, the presence of joy, the presence of self-healing, the presence of inner melody, the presence of inner life, which is what silence gives, or which is what silence gives access to. Don't only wait for my next words, what I'm going to say, next sentence that what I'm going to say, but be aware of the silence before next sentence comes. A small window or door, the opportunity to connect with yourself, to access your inner refuge, feel protection, feel protected, feel safe, feel peace. Like this moment. Why we say silence as a door to your inner refuge. What is the inner refuge? Inner refuge is when we are fully being ourselves. Nobody can hurt you, nobody can challenge you, nobody can destroy you because you are indestructible. Then when that place, when you're aware of yourself, that is inner refuge. And we all, every single person, every single sentient beings, we all have that enlightened nature in ourselves. Whatever you wanted to call it, you can call it Buddha nature. All the sentient beings, not only human beings. Maybe some of us who are interested in self-inquiring, questioning ourselves, questioning our life, questioning everything, seeking, being seeker, not always feeling too comfortable and settled in one's territory of pain identities. We have more chance to access that inner refuge. As I'm talking to the silence, talking about silence, you hear the noise. That's the garbage truck picking up the garbages. But between that noise, in between, there is a silence. Now there is a silence, but we hear less silence. We hear more noise. We are more aware of noises. We pay more attention to the noises. We engage more with the noises. But the silence is always there. But we are not able to go closer and pay attention. That's why this whole sense of inner refuge and protection is not there. So let's think about what is the protection that we are talking about? Obviously, protection from outer enemies. That every nation or some nations have more friends. Some nations have more enemies. Some people have more enemies than friends. Sometimes we have more obstacles than support, opportunity than obstacles. Why? Because we have less connection to our inner silence. Because we constantly criticize others. Because that noise is inside ourselves. That noise has enough damage our inner peace. And it's so loud and so pervasive, it's coming out and attacking others. Just criticizing. That criticism is a noise. I'm not saying that people cannot criticize other people. People cannot discuss other people. People should raise your voice to tell the truth and confront the darkness. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm talking about specific situations, that inner noise, inner pain, when it manifests as a criticism, as a judgment, as a complaining, we lose friends. How many, I don't know, don't want to call enemy, but definitely you have created people that you don't like you. Or in some cases, they're trying to harm you for no reasons because they don't like you. Maybe a number of them has to do with your actions and your speeches. How many friendships you lost? Many of them has to do with your speech, your criticism, your judgment. So we create with inner noise and inner criticism, we create these outer obstacles, problems. It protects from them when we when we feel more with inner silence. We feel less need or desiring to criticize, to judge someone. But we will be more aware of if there is something to be aware. And if there is something to be changed, we'll definitely be more aware of that, but not necessarily we have to criticize someone, because nobody likes to be criticized, but everybody likes to be helped and pointed out. The silence knows better way to communicate than the noise of criticism. Silence knows when to shut up, when to speak less, when to not speak at all, when to speak, what to speak, and how to speak. Silence gives these deep wisdoms, these energies, these spontaneous flowing guidance, directions. That's the power of the silence. So silence protects from these outer enemies, and also silence protect with your own thought. You don't have to have outer enemies, right? We have enough of our own thoughts, obsessive thoughts. Our fears, anxieties. That's enough. It's obstacle. It closes the door to inner refuge. The what can open that door is the silence. Silence is the door of awareness, the awareness which realizes your source, yourself, and your potentiality. Silence. Our kind of normal behavior, if you look at in our everyday life in the normal behavior, one of the tendency, when any situation of conflict, one of the tendencies is always immediately trying to do something or immediately trying to speak something out of fear, out of anxiety, out of losing the ground and connection. And most of the time, what we say or what we do or what we decide, body, speech, and mind, they don't turn out so well. They create outer obstacles or reinforce, but they don't resolve the conflict. They don't introduce the peace because you're still fully engaged with the noises. When we have access to the silence, when we feel the inner silence, when we are aware of it, we're not fighting with the noise. We're enjoying the silence. We're hearing the melody, the music of the silence. We feel a playfulness. We feel the joy. We're becoming familiar with that space of inner silence, the inner beauty of the silence. We're becoming more familiar with that. When we are familiar with that, when we settle in there, we feel protected. We feel protection from our own obsessive thoughts. So, do you engage with thoughts? Or do you talk with your obsessive thoughts without being aware of that you're talking, or you are bringing little attention and little awareness to the silence? Hear it. Feel it. Enjoy it. So deep sense of this, I think it's everything what we engage in our life, either physical activity, when people are jogging, sometimes you see some people jogging and you see they're so happy, they're just so smiling and very joyful kind of jogging. And another time you see people like very miserable face, like suffering, doing the same thing. Same way in the silence, you can be just very restricted, very controlled, very effortful, and can be very noisy also. Some people's, when they are in silence, they are more noisier than when they talk, because at least when they're talking, kind of releasing the energy. When they are not talking, they're controlling the energy. But there's equally, they have no access to the silence, inner silence. But the sense of trust and belief, the silence is always there. And it's beautiful, joyful, peaceful, and it's also deep healing. So protecting ourselves from outer enemy, protecting ourselves from our own obsessive thoughts, protecting from our own destructive emotions. Emotions are good to be felt. Emotions are good to process. Emotions are also good to have when you have it as a human being. You know, when you have anger, it's good to feel it. But when you feel it, when you process it, it doesn't have to become a destructive to others or self-destructive. That's why you can think about this destructive emotion versus constructive emotions. Could be different. Because this is the difference. People who do have more access to inner stillness, inner silence, inner spaciousness, whatever emotion, intense emotion they're feeling, many of them become more constructive, not destructive. Because no matter how painful it is, in the end, that pain makes you stronger. If you need to be stronger, it clearly helps you to be strong. If you need to open up and expand, it needs to be able to let you do that. Because it kind of directs you right. Because that intense emotion is the reason why you are constructed, or why you're not open, why you are not hearing, why you are not learning, why you're not growing, why you're not speeding up, whatever. That specific intense emotion have a reason why, specific reason why it to be there. And it exactly does that. Helps you. And sometimes, many times we know in our life, oh my God, it was so hard, it was so challenging, difficult, but definitely it gives me an opportunity to grow myself beyond it. And then sometimes you feel like I'm so happy that it happened, because I would never grow enough, or never grow this particular way. I will never go beyond, or I will never expand myself unless that particular intense emotion took place in my life during a certain period of time. I would not do it. I'll be just sitting there with all these problems. I'm used to it, feeling comfortable with it. But I did not realize, going beyond those comfort, how expansion, how beautiful, how powerful it is, how I become more whole in my life. You cannot imagine, right? Why? Because whenever we have more access to the stillness, silence, and spaciousness, we're able to process better, redirect better, discover better. And whatever we discover, we're able to expand it in its full potential. So the silence protects from that. Even silence will help our physical diseases. After all, any sickness is the full product of the noises of our thoughts, noises of our emotions, noises of our restlessness, noises of our disconnection. These are product of noises of outer, inner, many different layers of noises, which is basically interferes our physical well-being. It protects from that. So what I'm trying to say here is that silence as a door to your inner refuge. Inner refuge means there are many things, situations in our life what we need protection from, and it protects. And it means the awareness of the silence. Okay, let me make a little distinction here. It's an important one. The silent, the noise, and the silence, and the awareness of the silence. Obviously, they are all different. Most of the time, we are always kind of sink in, or we are stuck in the noises, or we are always waiting for the noises. If we are not fully stuck in, then we are waiting for the noises, which is also noise. But awareness of the silence, it's a different. For example, this very moment, I'm going to keep quiet for a moment. We have over 300 people participating, so hopefully we are all keeping a silence for a moment. Okay. Now let's imagine some of you might fully aware of the silence. It's not there was a silence, but you're fully aware of the silence. You felt the light of the silence. You felt the liveliness of the silence. You felt the playfulness, the melody of the silence. You felt the joy of the silence. You felt the healing of the silence. You felt all of them, or some of them, or one of them. Right? But maybe others did not feel any of these. Instead, feeling a discomfort. Many times when people are having conversation, when conversation goes slower, and when there is a moment of silence, they are threatened. They feel uncomfortable. They don't know how to behave. They feel misplaced. They're not enjoying it. They're not feeling healing. Because they're not aware of the silence. They are not able to continue with their noise. They are not aware of the silence. Instead, they wanted to continue with the noise. They are not able to continue with the noise. It stopped, but they are not aware of the silence. So they're left in between somewhere, an unknown place, unknown territory. Discomfort. So being quiet, I'm quiet, or I'm controlling my speech. I'm avoiding the noise, outer noise, closing the window. I'm controlling my mind. I'm controlling my thought, emotions, feelings. I'm trying to be quiet and still. And this effort is noisy, very noisy effort. So I'm struggling with the effort. I'm struggling to control. I don't have open enough or energy or clarity to be aware of the silence. I'm fully immersed in struggle. So they're different. Struggling with the noise, controlling the noise, and not having some sense of sound or thoughts, but still silence is not there. It's whole another thing to be aware of the silence than shutting up mouth. You can go away in thousands of acres of land and you don't hear any car. You don't hear any machines. That's not guaranteed that you will feel the silence. Or you can be in the middle of the city. Every metro moves. The apartment is shaking. Not necessarily, you don't have the silence. So silence has not so much to do with the presence or absence of outer sound or outer sound or inner noises of emotions. It's more question about integration with these noises or inner thoughts and emotions. You're allowing them. You're not controlling them, but you're feeling the access to the silence always there. So the other thing is, the noise, of course, when we say, do you hear the noise? Yes, I hear the noise. I bother by the noise. But the real hearing of the noise, it's not the way usually we hear the noise. When you really hear the noise, there is a silence. That's why it's in order to experience deep silence, it's important to have a wonderful, great relationship with the noise. The silence is so vast, so peaceful. And the presence of noise is so tiny, so small in that vastness. It's not interfering the inner silence at all, but it is fully aware of that noise. That is hearing of the noise. Not hearing of the noise is when you're so bothered by any sound and you have whole house, very quiet and peaceful house, or you have one demonic, noisy clock every second when it's making a you hear like an atomic bomb or something like that. And that, interesting enough, that little sound was not there before. And as you go to bed, it came up. As you're trying to sleep, it's becoming louder. If you're really struggling to sleep, it's just so loud. The sound actually increases, not literally increases in your perception. Its noise is increasing. Because, truth is, the noise is not increasing. Whatever the level of noise is, always the same level. But for you, it's increasing from no noise during the daytime because nobody's listening, and little noise as you're trying to go to bed, and when you're really trying to go to sleep, bigger noise. When you're really having a hard time to sleep, really loud. I say noise. Pain identity of noise listener is getting bigger, not the noise is getting bigger. And you never, so my main point, what I'm trying to say is you're not really hearing the noise. You're not understanding the noise. You're not fully embracing the noise. You're not fully connecting with the noise. That is the reason you're not able to access to the silence. That is the reason why it has so power over you. So it's really important to hear the noise, true sense. And the silence should be aware. Noise should be fully here, and the silence should be fully aware. I'm sure it would dramatically change your relationship with the silence if you're aware, the joy of the silence, the peace of the silence, the light of the silence, the liveliness of the silence. If you're feeling dull, numb, if you feel the silence, if you feel the liveliness of the silence, if you're there 10 minutes in that silence where you're feeling vitality, the liveliness, your whole entire body, speech, and mind can be energized. Then you know how beautiful silence is, how beautiful, powerful silence is. And you will never get bored. You will always enjoy, and you always know you have access to it whenever you need to seek a protection. So, in short, what I'm trying to say here, just don't just trying to shut up your mouth or just trying to force to talk or trying to avoid noises. That is not the direction you want to pay attention to. You wanted to pay attention to that this vast silence is already there. I wanted to be aware of it. Aware of it. I don't want to fight with the noise. I wanted to be aware of the silence which is already in me and around me. If you just get that point, everything will change. You will do what you need to do, and you will not do what you shouldn't do. Not fight with the noise, access and be aware of the silence. Okay, so let's do a short meditation here. We don't want it to run out of time, not have a little time to practice of silence. Okay, so bring your full attention, awareness to this present moment. At your place, where you are, in your body. So bring the awareness in your body. So your mind and the body is fully connected. It's together. Just for a moment, be aware of the stillness around you, in your body. Breathe out deep, breathe out. If there's any discomfort, efforts that you're feeling this moment, breathe it out deep. Now gradually bring attention to inner silence. So before we go into inner silence, just bring full awareness in your own unique life. We all have our own unique situations. What are your noises? The noise of your pain identity, if that is what been very noisy these days. The noises of your own thoughts, if that has been the very noisy one these days. The noises of destructive emotions or any emotions, if that has been the noises. The noises and discomfort of your body. The noises of social media and news. The noises of all these disturbed people who seems like there's nothing better contribution they bring to the life, but every time they do any action or any time they open mouth, anytime they try to take some action, it's always bringing more disturbances, very noisy. So whatever the noises that you're experiencing in your life this moment, let's be fully aware of that from open heart, from openness, from that silence that's fully aware of that. Not reject, not control, not suppress. Some sense of openness and connection to these noises. And that means it's not all of things what I just said, but some of the things that which really disturbing you this moment in your life. So bring your full attention of light of awareness and embrace those noises fully in the vastness of the awareness of the silence. Let them just melt and dissolve like ice in the ocean, clouds in the sky. Let these noises fully dissolve in inner silence by being fully aware and connecting, not by suppressing and rejecting and ignorance. And use your breath. Breathe twice long as usually you breathe, all the way down below the navel. And every exhalation, breathe out these energy of noises, sound of the noises, feeling of the noises, thoughts of the noises, emotions of the noises, pain identities noises. Whatever you are aware, in particular, unique, your own situation in life, be aware of them, breathe it out. So breathe out, feel more silence. Breathe out, feel more silence. Not reject the noise, be fully aware. So continue like that as we listen to Salavya mantra one time. So Milosh, if you can please play one more time Salavya mantra and feel the silence and feel the joy of the silence. Feel the melody of the silence. Feel the liveliness of the silence. Feel the light of the silence. Whatever specific quality of energy of the silence is arising for you, allow that. There is a gift for you from the source of the silence to heal you, to make you grow.
Rinpoche, sorry, you're still muted.
So there's a deep sense of silence that we're all feeling. But are you aware of the silence? So be aware of the silence. Bring the light of awareness to that silence. And whatever dynamic energies, qualities arises from that silence, allow that unique quality, this moment, but that unique manifestation, unique dynamic energy, it's a gift for you. Some of you might feel deep peace. If you do, be aware of that. Some of you might feel very energized. If you do, be aware of that. Some of you might feel very expanded. Others, you might feel very grounded. That's a gift for you from the silence. Some of you feel very joyful. Some of you might feel more deep sense of inner peace. Whatever the dynamic energy arising this moment from that awareness of the silence, from that source of the silence, be aware of that. And some of you might feel more sense of connection to your inner voice, your inner strength, your inner ability to speak straight, speak clearly, speak kindly, speak with energy. The power of voice, power of speech, which only comes from that awareness of the silence, from that deep silence. Allow these your true voices, if that is what is coming. So whatever dynamic energy is you're feeling, allow that, see it, feel it, but not trying to manipulate everything what I just said, because I'm saying it because so many people are experiencing silence similar way, but they might not experience the dynamic energy from that silence similar way. They might experience this differently. So whatever you are experiencing, be aware of that. And rest there for a moment, just for a moment, with that recognition of that joy or recognition of that peace, whatever it is, that unique dynamic energy spontaneously arising from that awareness of the silence. Be aware, connect, enjoy, let it work for you. Let it give you the gifts. Okay? So, how was this meditation? I've been doing these different times, sometime more, sometime less, all these Facebook live teaching from my home. And the only intention is just every now and then it feels like there might be need to, reach out to help. And sometimes spontaneous thing, and that whatever comes in my mind, and sometimes more specific things which we have planned. So, but always the intention is to connect with all of you and be help whatever I can. And for that, today it has been a topic about silence. So any feedback, any your experiences, did you understand it? What did you understand? Did it help, or it did not help, or it brought up something else that you did not expect it? Whatever it is, any feedback, I do read them, but I do not respond. So if I'm not responding, does not mean I'm not reading it, because it's too many to respond. But I do read almost all. So please do write feedback in this meditation. Anything else you feel that future that can be more supportive topics, or just topic of discussions on teaching, I'm very happy to hear. So thank you very much, everybody, and thank you all our CyberSangha team, who is always really doing the most of the work behind the scene. And because of them, it makes my life easier to do what I do, just come up and teach and meditate with all of you. So thank you very much, everybody. Much love, many blessings.
Thank you for listening to the CyberSangha podcast. If you'd like to learn more about CyberSangha, visit us online at cybersangha.net.